one of the things that we did the other day is when Junseth was on the show, because there's this controversy going on. I think it's more of a controversy in the dojo than it is between you guys, honestly. But because there's this controversy and people want to know, I gave him the floor to kind of talk about things and address things with folks. And it sounds like you'd like to do the same thing. So without further ado, Judge DeRose, you are full screen and it is your floor. I'm going to mute my mic and the music while you do this.
Judge DeRose presiding in the courtroom of Exotica.tv, answering questions for everyone in the channel today. Guys, hit me up. Make it vicious. You know, I will say, too, like, this isn't the first time I've had to be in a situation like this, you know? Like, with Counterparty, I think a lot of people were a little disappointed when I chose not to rerun, and with some of my complaints there, there was a pump and dump that I put the brakes on there. I don't care if they pump and dump after I'm gone. I don't care if Junseth pumps and dumps after I'm gone. But whatever pumping and dumping happens is not going to happen while I'm in the room. You guys do it. People do it when I'm not around. I have very few things that I care about. That's one of them. And I don't even mind if you guys fucking do it. I really don't. But in order for me to continue my role, doing the interviews that I do, taking the positions that I take, I can't be a hypocrite. It's very straightforward. I've said many times, the only thing that you can do wrong in public opinion, and this is a guy who's a registered sex offender, who regularly robs old ladies of their money. I push them over with the fucking when they're in the street next to me. I take their purse and I run. I bang trannies and hookers in Thailand. I've an open active heroin user. All of these things are fine because they're not hypocritical. They're not hypocritical. I specialize in a very certain type of interview style and a certain type of information disclosure, which requires that I not be hypocritical in this very one specific way. Which is in pumping and dumping scams. And maybe a couple other incidentals around there, but that's like the top of it. I'm not better than any of you guys. You guys can all do it all you fucking want. I don't give a shit. And it's not even an ethical thing or anything like that. It's that I need to be the guy on the front lines who goes to these people who are total shitheads. And what I don't want is for fucking Tim Swanson to allege that I pump and dump on my show. I don't want Brian Fabian Crane, who pumps so much fucking bullshit without any accountability, to say, well, you pump fucking Rare Pepe cash on your show and profit on it. Like that is 100% hypocritical. I can't continue doing these shows in any capacity so long as I have to deal with those allegations, because those would be true allegations. And I don't have the ability to lie about that. Not only because I get caught in a second, but also because like I just can't do that. Like it's not going to work. Okay. So let me see, prove any of that, do heroin live. Okay, what I think I was trying to do, actually, because it's been hard to get heroin here, I'm trying to go to Chiang Mai and see if I can get some opium there, and I'd be very happy to smoke that live. So that would be one of my goals. I don't know if I could do that, but I would try. So I don't know if that works for you, Mike 21. I'm going to try that. That's important to me. I like opium, so like it'd be great. I could share that with you. So in terms of proving it, give me time, motherfucker. I'm working on some of this. God, got a billion things going on. I'm very, very happy to do content. As it is now, I spend so much time doing it. Okay,
one of the questions that was in the Exotica forum is whether or not you've been asked to pump coins, coin devs, organizations, etc. And full disclosure, yeah. I actually went to Chris once and asked him if he wanted to be involved in developing a coin or being a part of a coin, and he vehemently turned it down. And I think the response was, fuck no. And actually, what he didn't know is that the coin I was going to ask him to help develop was Blurk Coin, which is a charitable coin that was going to do works feeding the homeless, blankets, things like that, specifically dedicated to charity. But he was so vehement about it, I didn't want to come back to him and try to convince him otherwise. Hopefully, a charitable coin wouldn't be a scam, but I'm sure. I mean, maybe you would have busted me as being a scam for running a charity. I don't know. Certainly, there are churches out there that are scams.
Yeah.
I think one of the churches that's a scam that comes to mind, from a multi-level marketing standpoint, pyramid standpoint, if we want to get specific on it, is the Church of Scientology, with having to pay to get to the next level up, pay to get next level up, pay to get next level up. That's a perfect example of a pyramid scheme. But it's actually, I think it's called the it's called the 8-ball scheme, because the pyramid looks more like an 8-ball and it takes 8 people to come in. It's a variation of that. However, that being said, Chris, would you be willing to help work on and develop a charitable coin, the Blurk coin? Will you be one of the founding members of the Church of Blurk? You're being asked here first.
I do not have the time to put into that. If I did have the time to put into it, I still probably wouldn't do it, for the simple reason that you're asking to securitize in a bearer asset some component of a fundraising system.
No, I'm not asking to securitize that at all. It's a coupon.
You don't realize you don't realize maybe that's what you're asking, but
no, I know what I'm asking. The point is that if somebody hold on, if somebody buys a church raffle ticket that is tax deductible to them, and those raffle tickets go towards a prize. I'm not saying there's any prizes. There's not. However, simply donating or giving money to a charitable organization for them to move forward and do good works in the community doesn't mean that that's a securitization of the deal. What this is specific, easy way for people to translate their Bitcoin anonymously, if they choose, into basically an offset. So let's say you buy your Bitcoin at 100, you sell it at 200, you have a tax liability against that gain. You can offset that gain by moving some of those gains into a charitable organization where you acquire another coin, etc. So that's the idea. Helping Connie with her issues, or actually bypassing. The idea is to bypass Haitian governments and make sure that the Haitian economy actually gets the money directly. Things like that. That was the idea, right? That's what people want to use Bitcoin for. But regardless, if you don't want to be involved in it, and if that's a scam to you, then here we are. No, we are in the court of Juicebox with the Honorable Judge Chris DeRose. And oh wait, I'm sorry. Did you want to go back to full screen again and address some of the things with the viewers that? They seem to want a little more information out of you.
One comment I wanted to address here.
Hold on, let me put you full screen for that. Yeah. Hold on. Here you go. Floor is yours.
Yeah. So if somebody in the channel, I think, just said, like, Chris, why don't you admit to some degree that, like, XCP has lost, like, a lot of its value since it's high? Something I would say about that, first off, is, like, literally I just had this conversation with Ricardo of Monero. You guys can listen to the next Bitcoin Uncensored if you'd like, where we discuss a lot of this at length. Basically, how hard it is to do open source project development in the space, because everybody always wants to talk price. He would suggest, and I can only take him at his word on this, but it sounds feasible, that the Monero community is pretty good about not having price talk in the community, because they are in fact trying to do some sort of open source science initiative. And I think that I wouldn't have put it as elegantly, certainly my early days with Counterparty, but I think that I actually followed that principle in full by never mentioning the price component of Counterparty in any public transmission of any kind. I'm sure I did in the chit chat at some level. So it's just irrelevant to me, because here you are, by the way, a lot of you that are angry are angry because you are using Counterparty to do things that you find productive. That was the reason that I promoted the technology, and here you are. And so, like, I would consider that a success, and you guys can decide if I was pumping XCP or not. But you won't hear those words coming out. And you got to ask yourself, like, what level is there for people to promote technology in this space then, if not that level? Like, how can you do interesting stuff with ring signatures if that's what your interest is? I
think what the community would say is, let them speak for themselves, right? Let
who speak for themselves?
Well, if XCP wants to say how great things are, or if Pepe Cash wants to say how great they are, let them say it. Unlike you, who may say, "Hey, this is great. I love what's going on here," without giving the disclosure when you say, "Hey, I like XCP," or "I like what's going on with Counterparty." You should say at that point, hey, I'm Chris DeRose. I really like what Counterparty's doing. By the way, I myself hold Counterparty. So you can take that for what you want. You can make make the judgment for yourself whether or not my opinion is biased in that or not. Before, now you've said that you're going to donate your Counterparty stuff to a Counterparty Foundation. But before, when you started, when your show was XCP Chit Chat, you didn't say, hey, what's up, party people? I'm Chris DeRose. I hold X number of Chit Chat, and this show is about bringing you awareness to all the cool things that are going on with Counterparty because I hold Counterparty and I'm looking to make $1 out of it.
I never had anything that I had control over called XCP Chit Chat. There was a group that pre-existed my involvement in Counterparty and for which I never had moderator access to. That was called XCP Chit Chat that I was a member of and I was active in on Skype because it was the primary communications channel on Skype.
But wasn't your show originally called XCP Chit Chat?
Counterparty Chit Chat.
Oh, sorry, Counterparty Chit Chat. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
And that distinction is only important in the context of like any accusations that I'm shilling XCP. Otherwise, I think it's very uninteresting, quite frankly. But like, if anybody wants to build a case for the degree to which I pumped XCP, I think that
it goes to the level of disclosure. You talk about the trust that you have with the community. You talk about the trust that you have with your viewers and your rules that you have with your viewers. And I'm just curious, just prior to today, and you may have done this in the last couple of days and I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm not awake when you're doing your shows in Thailand. Prior to today, when did you disclose that you held XCP and you were going to sell it when you got back to the States and donate it to the XCP Foundation?
I was actually. It's funny, before any of the Junset stuff even happened, I talked to J-Dog about that.
Yeah, but you didn't announce it live, right?
I hadn't really made up my mind even up until I saw all this shit happen with Junset, and I'm like, fuck that there's only like one. And so like, this I think this very well might be the public announcement of that, actually. I could be wrong.
Okay, so how long have you been doing Bitcoin Uncensored?
Like the actual show,
yeah.
I guess we have 60 or so episodes, so it's been over a year now, but under 2 years, year and a half maybe.
Okay, so for the last year and a half, had you ever told your audience that you held various coins or various assets?
Good question. I'm almost certain we have in the earlier days, and we stopped talking about it. But it is possible that I haven't. I would very much like to know if somebody knows that. I really don't know.
All right.
But so, I would almost certainly say that I was I know that I said I was the director of the Counterparty Foundation.
Does that actually exist?
I even think that I might have. If you look at, check my American Banker articles. I might have put something in there as like a disclosure. I might have. Good question. I don't know.
All right. So have you ever, and this is my ignorance. You have hundreds and hundreds of hours of Bitcoin Uncensored, and I haven't gone through it all. Have you ever been critical of Counterparty?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I could tell you. I would be the first to list all the criticisms I have of Counterparty. Mm-hmm. Which I don't want to waste your time with, but I'd be very happy to list those.
No. It's just a good question. Now, what other assets do you hold? Any assets in the Counterparty network?
Sort of. It's a push-based system, so people push things onto me. I've declared a good number of things, even, but.
So when they push things on you, do you instantly sell it to get rid of it?
No, in fact, it's been even a long time since I logged into that wallet. So.
Got it. Well, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, people are pushing things on you. They can easily say, "Hey, you've got these assets. Why aren't you monitoring that, and why aren't you getting rid of it?" Because I think that the second that I start speculating on things in this space and I start I lose my neutrality. I can't maintain like any degree of responsible disclosure once I'm a speculator. Now what I'm doing, and you see this, the SEC has tons of rules about this. If you are going to be a TV personality of any kind, you need all kinds of registrations if you're going to be taking positions with these things. Yeah. So you don't know what you have, is what you're saying.
I can find out in like 2 seconds. Like it's not. I don't know off the top of my head. So frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if because of like this, I have stuff even the last like few days. Like it's a constantly changing system.
Okay. Well, if you want, why don't you pull it up? And if you want to
Okay.
shoot me the link, or if you want to share your first thing I'm seeing as far as asset balances go are Bitcoin Cruise, Bitcoin FL. Bitcoin, is that an NFL thing? BTC Cruise, BU Pepe.
Yeah.
What's BU Pepe?
Somebody gave that to me. I have no idea. I know that's the BU Bepe card, I'm sure.
Okay, and then Chris DeRose.
Yep, that's me.
No. There's an asset here called Chris DeRose.
That's me.
Did you tokenize yourself? Wait, did you tokenize yourself?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a cat.
Was that
Yeah.
was that pushed into your wallet, or did you do that yourself?
That one I declared myself.
Okay, how much is one Chris DeRose token worth?
I don't know. It's never been sold. If you look, 6 were declared, and I own them all. So it's worth 0, I guess.
Okay. What? Do you know why you did that?
I mean, I was testing out the technology. If you look at that, that was probably from like 2013.
Sure.
And at the time, I think I was going to use it for something, and I declared 6, but I didn't use it for anything.
Yeah, I was trying to do that the other day when the first time I ever bought any XCP was to try to see, I've been doing my analysis of Pepe Cash and the Pepe system by trying to run the system and go through the process to determine whether or not I'm going to say whether it's a scam or not. And so I bought XCP for the first time, and I tried to tokenize one of my Pepes. And so I think there's 100 page Pepes now that I've improperly created because it's not intuitive to me, but that's all right. We have DeRose. There's a DeRose token. What's that?
Another one that I declared that I just issued one of that I never used.
What's CPF test? There's is that 2,500 of those?
Yeah, so the Counterparty Foundation, if I'm not mistaken, issued that for voting at one point. And I think what we were doing was making public our votes. So that was declared, and I think we didn't use it. It was like a test or something like that, if I remember right. And so I don't know if we even used it for that ultimately.
Uh-huh.
Pretty squeaky clean here. If you're not, you're really gonna have a hard time scam busting me here.
No. I'm not trying to scam bust you. I'm just trying to understand this stuff. Issuances. So under the issuances section, this would be the tokens that you've issued. So dirty money, unmarked bill, mob money, and Chris DeRose.
That stuff other people have created and given me some of, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so in the send area here, we have.
Maybe I do. No, I might have declared some of those.
All right, so we've got sends. Karma token. What's Karma token? Is that a Spells of Genesis asset?
What is Karma token?
I'm looking at sends down at the bottom.
Yeah, that was definitely sent to me, and I have no idea.
Well, it looks like you sent 511 of them to someone 4 months ago.
No, it's not. If you look at the details, you'll see the source is not my address. The destination is my address.
Oh, so you hold 511.
Yeah. Don't ask me why that's not in the balances section. Oh, I know why. Because it's only showing the first 10 asset balances in that above list. If you had more, you'll see others.
Okay. So BU Pepe, you hold 20 of those?
Yes.
What are you going to do with those?
I suppose that if there's any allegations of impropriety, I'd be very happy just to burn it. But honestly, it wasn't something I ever cared much about.
All right, and you got those 5 months ago, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that right about the same time that Pepe Cash came out?
Pepe Cash might even be newer than that, but maybe not.
Pepe Cash came out in September, right? So October, November, December, January, February, March. Okay. I mean, that's 6 months. So yeah, that's either before or right at when Pepe Cash came out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.